Well, good morning, Glue Troopers, and today is a bit of a glum and rainy one here in North Florida. I was just out in our sunroom enjoying my morning coffee along with Honey, who was enjoying her coffee as well. And we did our calisthenics, and then we just sat down and she allowed me to pet her for 20 minutes, which means, rub me, daddy, rub me, I have needs. I got up to move, and she promptly made it very clear that would be very foolish, Mr. Bond. So, now that she's had her fill of tummy rubs, I'm sitting here debating what I want to do for the day. I was working on the Felixstowe last night, and I've managed to get the fuselage mostly completed, and this is the first time that I had some fairly serious fitting issues, but they were pretty much self-inflicted wounds. The cockpit innards, when you set them inside the fuselage halves, have obviously an extremely tight tolerance. And I'd managed to let one or two things get just a little out of place or get actually just bulged out a little bit on the internal cockpit assembly. And that was all it took to keep the halves of the model from sealing up tightly. So it took a little minor readjusting and clipping and snipping and re-gluing of one or two little things. In a couple of places, the insert for the cross beam members had managed to back out a little bit before the glue hardened. I didn't catch it, which made it just less than a millimeter too wide. But with fits this tight, that was all it took to keep things from sealing up nicely. So a little snip, a little re-glue, and all was well. Thing fits so tight that I did not actually have to glue the interior into the model. It has an excellent friction fit, which is great since you might have to make a few minor adjustments. And those large flanges do a great job of seating everything where it's supposed to be. You do have to remove those internal studs. This is the first time I saw large ejector pins on, or some people call them knockout pins, actually on the model. They're on the inside of the fuselage where you won't see anything, and you have to knock those off before you put it together. Also, don't forget to paint the interior of the fuselage halves that sort of khaki color, because that will be the cockpit wall. Once I got it all together and it hardened, I had to put the front and top sections on. And again, there were some fitting issues. We're only talking about a millimeter or less. But again, when you're dealing with models, that's a millimeter is a mile. I did manage to basically use clamps and quick drying glue and got everything fit. But it was a fight, I'll tell you that right now. And it's really hard with those Lewis guns sticking out the side because you keep manhandling the fuselage not to knock something off. So again, I recommend you might want to mount those Lewis guns last, just despite what the instructions say, because it will take a certain amount of manhandling. So the fuselage is essentially complete. I'll probably have to do a little putty and sand in some areas. Nothing unusual about that. And then the next thing will probably be to prep it for painting. But given all the humidity and the rain and moisture in the air, I don't think I'll do that today. So I'll probably spend today doing research, most likely on the Matty Laird video and for the Air Race series. Also, a viewer sent me a lot of information on a company called Panda, which this is the not Panda models out of China today, but Panda, which was a company out of New Zealand. So he sent me so much information. I'll probably put together a short company history video on that soon. Unfortunately, and he'd warned me about this, I have not been able to find anything on the old New Zealand company Panda. It looks like they were mostly Marusan kits that they had reboxed, I believe. If anybody's got any pictures or information on the old New Zealand company Panda, I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know. So that's what I have for this morning. Just a short one because it's just kind of a rainy. Not sure I'm going to build this morning. Maybe I'll get to it this afternoon. And that is all we have for all who have got the opportunity to make the live stream. I want to thank you. Hope you had a good time. Well, guys, we'll see you later, and model on.